Hi, welcome to episode 325 of the Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, which has been recently refreshed and has all the show notes for each episode, as well as links to where you can purchase some of my patterns. I have an Etsy shop where I sell my handspun yarns and some of my knitting patterns, and that is also at the Corner of Knit and Tea. And finally, I do have some patterns for sale on Ravelry, although I am not spending much time there of late. I am Fluffy K on there, and the patterns are also listed under the Corner of Knit and Tea. So hi, how are you? It is Monday, April 19th. And things are going well here. I was thinking about the weather, which is what I talk about most episodes, but it's supposed to snow tomorrow. So, weird little spring blip in the Midwest. I was sure we weren't done with snow yet, and of course we are not. So it's actually chilly today, and it's going to be dropping overnight, and it will probably just be flurries tomorrow. But that's sort of exciting. In other exciting news, I was down most of the weekend. I got my second Pfizer vaccine on Friday, so I am waiting patiently for another couple weeks to be up so I can be considered sort of fully vaccinated. I actually did pretty well. I felt a little under the weather on Saturday, but not too badly. And then yesterday I felt much better until I tried to exercise, and even raising my arms above my head hurt. So, So mostly I stayed home and crafted. I have some projects to show you and some things to talk about. And so we'll get started soon. I hope you are doing well. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see. It won't be an entirely typical episode. I don't have any spinning today, and usually I do have spinning content. And if you are a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. I'm glad you're here. So today I decided to make myself a spicy cup of tea. I have chai from Tea2. It is loose leaf tea, and this is delicious, and I think I accidentally brewed it just a little bit strong. It is spicy, and it has black tea, cloves, cardamom, star anise, cinnamon, ginger, and natural flavors, and you can see the seed pods and all kinds of things in here. So this is a great blend, and I am drinking it today in my Hoops and Yo-Yo mug, which I think was more for coffee, but I love it. So that is what I'm having today, and hopefully that will keep me going throughout the afternoon. It's about 3 o'clock here. I worked this morning, and I have a little bit more work to do, but I thought I'd take a break to hang with you. So I have 2 finished objects to share with you. The first is the second version of my hat, which will be released sometime next week. I should be able to talk about it next Monday, but we'll see. And this is knit out of Brown Sheep Lanaloft, which they sent me for review. I can report that it is a lovely woolly textured yarn, and I have worked up a simple textured hat. I did not want to do anything super complicated because the yarn is kind of already a nubbly textured yarn. It is a boucle. And so I did a really simple textured pattern, and case in point why I'm not more of a designer than I am. I thought it would be fun to do 2 colors on this one. The last one technically was 2 colors, but it was the brim, and I ended up doing a pom-pom for it that was a contrasting color. I didn't carry the contrasting color throughout the hat. On this one, I decided to carry the contrasting color throughout the hat, and of course, I forgot that my textural details were actually pearls, so that they wouldn't actually show up. The pearl part, the pearl bumps, would be in the main color, not the contrasting color, and I would have what almost looks like 2 rows of the contrasting color. And so that's kind of fun, and like I said, I'm not a designer, which is why I didn't think of that until it actually happened, until I tested it. So this is the child version of the hat. The previous version that I showed you was the adult small to medium. It's a little bit slouchy. It can be customized, so it's more like a beanie or a little bit slouchy. And then theoretically, I'm going to try and knit a 3rd one this week and take my photographs next weekend and do the adult large this weekend. And I think I'm going to use that kind of teal sea jade color and more of the yellow. So, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to make it too colored, too textured, or what. So this will be coming out in just a couple weeks, and the pattern will come out in my Ravelry store first, and eventually I will add it. I'm sorry, it will come out in my Etsy store first, and eventually it will be added to Ravelry. So that is what I've got going on there, but I finished that one this week, and like I said, I have one more. The second thing that I finished this week, and in part because I worked on it so much during the knit-a-thon that I just didn't have very much left, is I finished the blanket I was knitting for charity. This is the Catch the Waves Afghan pattern. It is by the manufacturers of Caron, their Magic Cakes. And I can't remember who it is. It's not Premier Yarns. It's a different company. And the link will be in the show notes, and the links in the show notes at this point are not to Ravelry. They are to the patterns off Ravelry. You can find all of them on Ravelry if you just take the pattern name or the designer name and look on Ravelry, but I don't want to unknowingly send people there, so links on my website go elsewhere. This is just a really, really simple chevron stitch, kind of a ripple stitch. It is knit, and the pattern is basically 2 rows, and the reverse row is purl, except for the garter stitch edges. So it's really an easy pattern, and what I did is I took 3 colors, and I think I've been misspeaking. This is in bright pink. They are in Stylecraft DK, which is an acrylic DK weight. It comes 330 yards to the skein. It is a great economical yarn. I think it's only about $3 or $4 a skein, so you can purchase them fairly easily. I get mine through Lovecrafts. You can also get them through Wool Warehouse and a variety of other places. And this is bright pink, and then it is cotton candy, and then candy floss, or candy ribbon? All of it will be in the show notes. So this is just a really, really simple zigzag stitch, and what I did is I just overlapped a little bit to do kind of the fades, and it is done, and it is about 34 inches square. I'm going to wash it in the machine, and then this will be a donation to Project Linus towards the end of the year. I do have yarns to start a second one, and I will be starting that shortly, but I have a few other things that I need to work on in the next couple weeks. But I am glad that this one is off the needles. I've been working on it since about January. It was the project that lived right next to my computer, so it was an easy grab, and I will be substituting it with something else that I need to be working on. But it was a great knit, and I'm really happy, and that's about 1,000 yards out of, it's 322 yards, so it's about 950 yards out of stash. So that's exciting for that. Let's talk about what else I've got on the needles. So I am working through the West Knits Painting Honeycombs blanket, the large version, and I am working through it with yarns from Zen Yarn Garden. I am using their Superfine DK, and this is a sample knit that I am knitting for them, which will be part of a knit-along that takes place later this year. I finally finished my 3rd repeat and started the 4th repeat this weekend, so I am pleased that I am making progress. I'm not going quite as fast as I would like to, but hopefully I will be able to speed up because I have a few other projects that I am finishing this week, and then I should be able to devote more time to this one. So this is what I have so far. This pattern is some garter stitch, some stockinette stitch, and some slipped stitches. If you have knit any of Stephen West's Honeycombs patterns, you will recognize the pattern, and I am knitting it in 9 colorways from Zen Yarn Garden. I've got kind of a greenish blue here, a slightly bluer color here, a teal, an orange, a bright lemony yellow, a red pink berry color, a magenta, and a light pink, and then my background color is a gray. So that is what's happening. I expect it to grow quite a bit when I wash it and block it, both because of the honeycomb stitch and because it is superwash yarn. This is a super fun project. It is getting kind of heavy. There are lots of skeins in this one. When all is told, I might have up to 15 skeins in this one, so that would be why it is heavy. And I am basically knitting it per pattern. I am down a couple needle sizes. That's just because my tension has relaxed over the years. So I am using a slightly smaller needle, but otherwise I'm doing everything exactly per pattern. And I hope that I'm going to get through the 4th repeat and maybe get on to the 5th before I see you again. So I would say I am almost half done with this blanket right now. I guess not quite, because I've just started the 4th repeat. So, but by the time I see you next, I should be more than half done. And as I said, I expect it to grow quite a bit. There's a lot of fabric here, so we'll just have to see what the finished dimensions are. I'm getting roughly gauge, so my hope is that my dimensions will be roughly the finished dimensions in the project, but we shall see. So that is the biggest project that's on my needles right now. I do have another sample that unfortunately I'm not allowed to show you. I am almost done with that one, and I am hoping to send that off this week so that I can get that off my plate. Like I said, I have the other hat to do, and then I want to start on a baby blanket for a friend of ours. I showed you that yarn a couple weeks ago. That was Miss Babs in Antique Gold. I just had to think. I was like, it was gold something. Antique Gold. And I already have that pattern charted. I do need to swatch a little bit to decide exactly how many I want to cast on. But that is going to be my next blanket project because our friends are expecting a baby in June. And so I need to get a move on. And that will also be a pattern that I will release for sale when I am done with it. So that gets me through most of my knits for the week. But I did want to show you something kind of fun. As some of you know, I work with a company called the City Girl Farm. They are local here in Kansas City, and they produce one-of-a-kind handmade chicken footstools. And I have showed you little bits and pieces about what I do for them over time. I sometimes spin for them, but I mostly knit for them. And they create these gorgeous chicken footstools in 2 sizes. They are really, really art pieces with felting, and some things are knit or crocheted or spun, and it's just kind of fun. I never know exactly what I'm going to do for them. It's like nothing else I do because it is sort of like sample knitting, but not really, because it's much more freeform and loose, and I'm working with much more artistic art yarns than I'm used to. Sometimes I'm creating yarns. So this week I got a box in the mail and I dropped it. I'm just gonna have to lean over. Oh, this week I got 2 boxes in the mail filled with beautiful squishy yarn, and I just wanted to show this to you. I did not spin this. I do not spin this well, but it is gorgeous. This is a thick and thin yarn created by a spinner close to me, and she uses the leftovers. She uses a plain white and then leftovers from other bits and pieces. So this one is just kind of a rainbow of colors, and it is just stunning. I love some of the colors in here. There's like a limey green, and there's a bunch of like turquoise and pink and purple, and I love these purples and the teal here and the olive green. Oh, the colors are so great. And I just wanted to give you a little peek at what I've been doing with it. I have been creating some loopy fabric. So this is what I have been doing with that gorgeous hand spun, and it is squishy and fun, and I will be turning that in, and I will share with you on my social media feeds when this becomes a chicken, but this is kind of my fun chicken work that I'm doing right now. I'm knitting this on big needles and using the loop stitch, and it's just a lot of fun. So that is what I have been working on for the past week. This is a super, super short podcast. I don't usually talk quite this little. Unfortunately, I did not have a chance to spin this week, and I'm not sure that I'm going to have a chance to spin this coming week because I have so many things. I said yes 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 too many times. And I love all of the projects that I'm working on, but it just doesn't leave a lot of room. I have just needed to knit in every spare moment, and so I have not had time to sit at my wheel. So I did put a few new skeins in the shop this past couple weeks. I finished off the skein that I showed you last week, and so that is up in the shop. I think that was about 300 and either 40 or 50 yards. So that is up in the shop right now, and the one before is up there as well. So if you are interested in handspun, those are available. I will be getting to those soon. I did get some feedback from some of you that you would like to do Tour de Fleece, so I will figure out how we're going to do that. My guess is it will just be a combination of platforms, and I will do the work of looking at all three. I will probably put a thread on Ravelry for those of you who wish to participate there. I most likely will not be participating there because I'm spending very little time there of late. However, I will look through that thread when I do some drawings for prizes. We'll use hashtags, and so we can participate on Instagram. And then for those of you who cannot use Ravelry, if you would like to place a place to chat, I do actually have a Facebook page, and so I could invite you to the Facebook page, or we can make a group and we can interact there. I know everybody likes something different, and I'm hesitant to start a whole new network on a whole new platform. I know that there are things like Mighty Networks and other places out there, but to be honest, I don't really want to start a whole new forum because I think there are so many people who are starting communities like that right now, and our community is fairly small, and I just feel like it's one extra place that you have to go every day. So I would rather keep it in places we already are, but I do understand there's just not a good way to do it on Ravelry anymore, so none of my events will be Ravelry specific anymore. However, if I want to, quote, register the team and whatnot, that would be on Ravelry anyway, so I can go ahead and put a thread there for those of you who wish to chat there. So we will be doing that. I need to confirm those dates, and I will start getting some of that information available to you. So I think that's all I've got for you today. I have a little bit more work to do, and then I need to sit down and do some serious knitting tonight and batten down the hatches because we're getting snow tomorrow. So I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, rest of your afternoon, rest of the week, and I will of course be back next week to share with you more of my fun projects and what I'm working on, and hopefully maybe I'll even have something a little new to show you next week. So I wish you a wonderful week, and until I see you again, I will say, as I always do, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye!